So now we get ready for the kickoff as it will be Siena Heights kicking away from left to right. And we do see Justin Green back there in kick return. So we get ready under the lights and some light showers.
Deep for the Cougars, number 17, Bradley Michael Bowler.
Yeah, I believe they got the wrong guy in there for St. Francis. That is Justin Green back there. He comes in with 10 kickoff returns, averaging over 25 yards a kick return. That is tops in the Mid-States Football Association. Here comes the kick, end over end. Green looks to run up to it, got it at the 10, near side. Looks to cut to boundary and steps out of bounds across the 20 at about the 22-yard line. So that's where Nick Ferrer now will bring the offensive unit onto the field for the Cougars. They'll move from right to left out of the south end zone. 66 degrees here at kickoff. Chance of showers through about the first hour until about 8 o'clock. Winds out of the south about 7 miles an hour. All the American flag right now basically limp. Will Chrisman comes out. He's sent wide to the left side, one of the wideouts for USF. Offensive line for St. Francis averaging 280 a man. Jalen Gamble, I believe, is back, serving that one-game suspension because of the extracurriculars at Marion. And here is Ferrer, looks to Green. Green cuts to his right, off tackle, breaks it outside, cuts to the 25, 30. He's got a first down. Good play by Justin Green. Play basically scheduled to go off the B gap to the right side, and he just broke it wide right and rumbles for the first carry of the ball game that nets an opening first down. They'll spot it at the 34-yard line. Connor Holcomb at center tonight. Gamble, Austin Smoger, the guards, and Nick Shoemaker, Alex Woods are the starting tackles. They average 270 a man, tackle to tackle. First and 10. Ferrer now from the right side hash mark. Too wide to the left side. Goes to Green again. Looks, cuts up the middle. Does not find a lot. Got back to the first down marker, and it'll be no gain for Green that time.
Looks like no gain on the play.
This defense
down by a host of
comes in for the Saints with 14 sacks on the year, 5 interceptions, 39 tackles for loss, 3 block kicks, and 7 quarterback hurries. They've recovered 6 fumbles. Second down and 10. Now they've got Gardner in as a blocker off the right wing. Here's Ferrer, wants to throw the first ball of the ball game. Looking on the out pattern's got a catch up here near the first down. That's Sean Boswell running the square out pattern up around the 44-yard line. Let's see if they're going to give him the first down. Looks like they're going to mark him short.
Ferrer's pass along the near sideline.
So Boswell with the first catch of the ball game. He topped the Cougars a week ago with 7 catches, 89 yards.
Brings up a big
averaged
yards.
over 12 and a half yards a carry. Rixey in. Coach Dowley said he's recovered and well. 2 blockers in off the right side now, and Ferrer has motion back to the near side. Gives to Green, cuts it up the middle, and he's in the second level behind the defense inside the 30, and they are not going to catch him today. Justin Green to the house with an opening touchdown run, and that will be
Justin Green takes
a 66-yard touchdown run by Justin Green, and at the 13:04 mark, just like that, the Cougars on the board to lead it at 6-0. So good run by Green. Cougars on the board. And now Gardner comes on to try to make it a 7-0 lead for St. Francis. Here's the snap. Right-footed kick is long enough on the way, and it is good. So it'll be an early 7-0 lead for St. Francis after an explosive run for Justin Green. And we will step out for the timeout. 7-0 Cougars on the road. This is Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
St. Francis Cougars 7, your Siena Heights Saints 0.
So Justin Green with the touchdown run. Green came in with
Gavin Gardner will boot it away to number 14 for your Saints.
750 yards rushing. That's second best in the Mid-States Football Association. 12 touchdowns on the ground. They'll give him one more now with that 66-yard jaunt. And he's got 13. He is the number one scorer in the Mid-States Football Association. Came in with 78 points. He'll add 6 to that total. So now the Cougars kick it away from right to left. Gardner ready to hit it at the 35. End over end, down deep into the end zone. And they will take a knee. So it will come out 1st and 10. Now the Saints, as they try to answer that long touchdown run by Justin Green. And we will see
start 1st and 10.
Quarterback Lucas Garner, his numbers coming in 100 of 156 through the air for 954 yards, 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. He is averaging 159 yards a ball game. But the success that the Saints have had have been on the ground, and normally they run at Darius Davis. He's a 192-pound, 5'8" redshirt junior running back. And he will be the one back lined up behind a little offset to the right side of Barner. Barner wants to throw first pass of the ball game, goes right side, and a run after the catch. And that'll be positive yardage, as it was DeJuan Smith.
To the near sideline, complete to number 1.
Smith, who had just one catch for 3 yards. 6'2", 220-pound redshirt sophomore. A gain of 5, and bringing up 2nd down and a short 5. Working from the right side, hash mark Barner. Looks, hands the ball off. Here's a cut to the left side, running room, and big hit. But that's a gain across the 35. They'll have the 1st down.
Number 25,
both teams,
Darius Davis goes hard
gets
over the near
1st down.
That's good enough for a
And they'll move the chains.
1st down!
In case you're just joining us, didn't take long for Justin Green to rumble some 66 yards for an opening touchdown. And the Cougars have the early lead at 6-0. Now 1st and 10. Barner out of the pistol. Looks again, read option, and gives it off to Darius Davis. This time the right side Cougar defense led by Eric Hemmelgarn there
Davis
to stop it.
Gets the give from
maybe
Barner.
a gain of about a half a yard.
Looks like maybe a half a yard on the pickup. Brings up 2nd down and 9.5.
By the way, they're saying that run by Green was 57 yards, so we'll correct that. Still one of his best runs of the year. Calling a gain of 1 for Davis, 2nd down and 9. 2 wide to the right side. Cougars in press coverage on the far side with a cornerback. Play action fake. Here's Barner with throwing the out patterns. Got a catch at the 45-yard line. That's short of the 1st down. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at one official marks at the 45. The other was at the 44. They'll give him the extra yard at the 45. He is short of the 1st down stick by a couple of yards.
Eric Dunton.
7-0 USF in the early going. Clock approaching 11 minutes.
3rd down and 2.
And the, let's call it a heavy mist coming down right now here in ADRIAN, Michigan. And here's the give, and there's Davis. Davis is stacked up and can't get away. Cougars came pouring through there.
Davis gets the give. Hustled down by number 99, Jordan
May credited with that tackle. Had 5 last week, and it'll be a punting situation for Siena Heights. So 4th down and 4 coming up for the Saints. They'll bring the punter in now. That is Aaron Wagner in the punt. Had 4 punts last week along a 49. Kick is a way booming kick. Boswell runs up to it, has it at the 15, slipped a little bit, and gets up only to the 19-yard line. Good coverage downfield by the Saints. So USF on top with 10:22 remaining in this opening quarter. They've got the 7-0 lead, and the offense will head back here to the field. In weight conditions, Boswell was battling this basically is plastic turf when you get right down to it, and it can become very, very slippery when you get any moisture on it. Cougars now with 2 wide to the left side. They are in tandem, 2 wide to the right. Right side is the wide side of the field. Ferrer out of the gun, looks to hand it off, and there's Green again. He's hit at the 20. Looked like he had more of a hole that time, but closed quickly.
Number 17, Justin Green. Looks like he picks up a yard.
Yeah, they're going to give him a couple of yards on that. Let's call it 2nd down and 8 coming up.
Logan Smith.
Will Chrisman in.
Gain him just over a
Chrisman
yard.
had a big catch last week, set up a touchdown. Dan Rixey back in, and they say he is much healed up compared to what he was a week ago. He's wide right. And Ferrer drops to throw, looks near side's got a wide open catch. Gardner bobbled a little bit about the 24-yard line, but he's going to be ruled a catch. He ran a little clear out pattern here to the near sidelines. Gardner also with a couple of catches last week in that win over Concordia. That was a battle.
3 on the
And
play.
Concordia, they were talking to St. Francis after the game. They were looking forward to their game in a couple of weeks coming up against Marion. Cougars with 3rd down and 5 coming up. Last week on 3rd downs, they were 5 of 14 for 36%. Here's Ferrer, dials up, throws to the right. He's got Rixey, but he's short of the 1st down. Had forward progress up to about the 28-yard line. Had to get to the 29. And the Cougars will punt for the first time here tonight, as Joe Nepper will come on to punt the ball away. Just one punt last week.
Dan Rickey with a grab out of the air.
He had a long punt of 42 yards. And Austin Kreider now is back deep in kick return. 1 punt return last week in the win of Taylor for 21 yards. He wakes back at the Saints 35-yard line. Nepper with a rush coming. He got the kick away high. Floating kick. Kreider calls fair catch and has got it about the 32-yard line. So we will see the Saints offense come onto the field with improving field position now. Their second possession of the ball game, 7-0 St. Francis in the early going.
Siena Heights University Saints take over at the 32-yard
Those games elsewhere today. Concordia on the road at Missouri Baptist. No problems with the Spartans, winning it 66-21. Marion at home also with the win. They defeated Taylor today 56-14. And the Lynx still looking for a win. They lost to USF Illinois today earlier 48-7. The other game that was scheduled in the West, Olivet Nazarene at Robert Morris, they never played that one. It was postponed, and we can assume it was because of perhaps lightning. One wide to the right now as here's Darius Davis in, and he breaks a tackle, 40-45, ridden hard near side, finally brought down. Well, I tell you, Eric Dunton with all he could do to bring down Darius Davis. That's their best run of the night. This offensive line for the Saints averages 273 a man tackle to tackle. DJ Haskins starts at center. Stanley Fink and Colton Fettner are the guards, and Alante Rice with Foxbriar are the tackles. 1st and 10, just short of midfield now. And a play action, no, they did hand the ball off. Not much. Cougars stack that up in the middle again.
Davis up the middle.
James Jamesich getting up off the bottom of the pile.
Dunton.
Well, you know that Dunton's name is always going to be mentioned in the context of tackles, usually. He and Pearson Harnish. Looks like Kylan Bass is getting some moments as well here early in the ball game defensively. Gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. Pistol alignment again for Barner. Blitz being shown defensive right side. They hand the ball off and trying to break it out, and he's gotten going anywhere. Pearson Harnish was there.
Davis takes the handoff, thrown down.
He is thrown back by Harnish, lost for tackle.
Harnish.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and even longer. It was 2nd down and 8.
Loss of 4 on the play. 2nd down and
see where they're going to spot that ball. Boy, it looks just a steady pouring drizzle right now here in Adrian, Michigan. It'll bring up 3rd down and 13. Saints trying to reach the Cougar 43-yard line on this snap. And here is Barner dropping the throw, flush to the right side, taking a look, throws the out pattern's got a catch. That's short of the 1st down at the Cougar 45. They may give him another yard at the 44.
Barner's pass.
And let's see what the decision will be by Coach cone here.
Busted down by number 22.
Trailing it
Stan Jackson.
7-0. It'll be fourth down and about a yard, and apparently going to play field position and bring in the punt team, barring a fake here. So again, Eric Wagner on to punt the ball, waits at his own 40-yard line. Boswell at the Cougar 10. St. Francis on top, 7-0. Cougars with 8 men up at the line of scrimmage. Now they drop off some. High snap, but that is grabbed by Wagner. And a rugby-style kick hits inside the 20, high bounce. And Boswell, it's going to go all the way down inside the 5, down to about the 2-yard line. Sean could not take a chance on the wet turf. Ball was bouncing not straight ahead. It took kind of a left turn on him as we look at it, and the Cougars will get the ball back for the third possession of the ball game with 5:43 remaining here in the opening quarter. Their lead is 7-0. So they'll spot it at the 2-yard line, and the rain becoming a little bit more pronounced here. So we're going to try to protect the equipment a little bit as Ferreira brings out the offensive unit. Of course, deep in your own territory, you've got to be very concerned about turnovers. Saints show cover 2 defensively, and Green running out of the backfield. They wrap up him. He got to the 5.
Justin Green gets the give.
That time, Reese Roney was in on the offensive line and got downfield trying to open things up a little bit more for Justin Green. So call it a gain of 3.
Gain of 3 on the
So
play.
bring up second down and 7.
Ball's at the 5-yard line.
Gegner checks out of the ball game. Rixey back in, wide to the right side. Again, 2 blockers off the right side on the wing. One of them comes back in motion. They'll give to Green. Green looking to get outside and does. Looks for the first down. He's got it much more across the 15. Takes it out now to the 20-yard line. And the Cougars, who started this drive at the 2, improving their field position. They'll have a first down at the USF 20-yard line.
Far sideline, brought down by number 23.
Clock moving along. We're inside of 5 minutes now. And first and 10.
Ball looks to be at the straight-up 20-yard line.
Well, according to my watch, we've got at least another 40-45 minutes of rain, if you can believe the weatherman. Said we'd have showers through the first hour or so, and then they would taper off and go away. 2 wide to the left. And again, Green cuts it off tackle to the right and rumbles out again across the 25. He's up to about the, let's see if they're going to say the knee hit back around the 26-yard line. Now there was a penalty flag thrown by our referee. We were not given his name. It looks like it'll go against St. Francis. That'll wipe out that gain by Green.
Offense, 59, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Austin Smoger going to be assessed a holding call. So that'll take the ball back inside the 15-yard line, and they'll set it down at about the 12. Cougars working from right to left as we look at things. Well, a lot of the fans are giving up the ghost and they're heading out as this rain is becoming steadily more of a factor. Steady downpour now. And there's a stop and go move onto the right side. Not much there. Maybe a yard or 2 gained.
Green gets a big wall.
Justin Green trying to make a little bit of a stop and go move, looking for a hole that was not there. So it was first down and 15. It'll be second down and let's call it about 13.
Gain of 1 on the play. Brings up second down and 16.
Well, we are trying to keep the window open here. Will Crispin now into the ball game, wide to the left side. He'll be covered by Trevon Claybrook. Cougars would have to get out to the 30-yard line. Here's Ferrer to throw. Looking, steps up, and going to be sacked. Couldn't hold him out, and he waited too long. Let's see who got in there.
Ferrer brought down in the backfield. Big sack by number 34, Jared Whited.
Jared Whited is credited with the sack, defensive end. He didn't have a tackle last week at Taylor, but he had 4 quarterback hurries. So third down and even longer now.
I know it's wet, but make some noise, Saints fan.
PA announcer encouraging some noise, and those that are still here trying to accommodate. Now the Cougars would need a big play trying to get out to their own 30. They've got it back around their 10. Ferrer looks, steps up, loads up, throws to the right. This one, and I think it was Rixey. He was the intended receiver, but he held up on the route. And it always amazes us that players just do not trust the arm of Ferrer, that he can throw the ball as he can. And you hear it at all levels. Keep running, because this young man will get it to you. So now Nepper will have to kick out of the end zone. And Austin Kreider back about midfield. We mentioned, if that name sounds familiar, he played well at Homestead High School, now in his sophomore year here at Siena Heights. Here's Nepper with the kick, and was it blocked? It was, and through the end zone. That will be a safety, so it will be a 7-2 ball game, and St. Francis will have to punt the ball, or they'll have a free kick coming up at the 20-yard line. So the Saints on the board with a blocked punt. And the safety comes at the 2:20 mark. Let's step out for a quick word, and we'll be back with more here in ADRIAN, Mission. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Well, after a 2-point safety, that makes the score the visiting St. Francis Cougars 7, and your Siena Heights Saints 2.
Saw the snap just a little bit to the left side of the Cougars runner.
I'd like to remind everybody, H&L Electric is your full-service electrical contractor, from commercial and industrial to residential. H&L can handle the smallest to the largest projects for your business or residence.
The Cougars, after the safety, will be awarded a free kick from the 20-yard line.
So Nepper has the punt blocked. It'll be 7-2.
As if they have elected to kick.
And Gardner will tee it up, and he'll kick it away from right to left at the 20-yard line. You have a choice, either a free kick and a punt, or you can place kick it at the 20-yard line. Gardner approaching. Now drives it high, end over end. They'll run up to it about the 20-yard line and return right up the middle, and to the 35 is where the Saints will have good field position to start this drive. They're on the board.
Carabino finally wrestled down by number 26.
So now the Saints with possession of the football at their own. Let's see where they put that ball down. Of course, one of the big challenges early on is going to be trying to keep a dry football.
Saints take over 1st and 10.
And they've got it at their own 36-yard line. 2:15 remains in the quarter. Barner in there again at quarterback. We'll check the running back. They've got a couple that they use. And here is a quarterback draw that time, and Barner knifes his way up off the right side, following the running back as a lead blocker to the 40-yard line.
Wrangled down by number 51.
Ron Washington also does a lot of the ball carrying for him.
2nd down and 6. Ball will be placed at the 40-yard line.
Well, rain still heavy drizzle, but maybe not quite as much as it was earlier. Gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. Read option, they throw the ball right side. There's a catch at the 42, and a gain across midfield into Cougar territory.
To the near sideline to number
that was
1,
Damon Wright.
Damon Wright Jr.
Who had 3 catches last week for 34 yards, scored a touchdown.
Number 39, Eric
Barner with a good job of faking the handoff and then throwing off to the right. Wilmer Cole had the coverage for St. Francis. Inside of 90 seconds now, time remaining in the quarter. 1st and 10 in Cougar territory. Here's a run left side. Boy, nothing there. And that's going to be a loss back around the 49-yard line. Thought I saw Eric Dutton's number
Davis takes
fly
the
in there.
Brought down by number 94.
Now they're going to give
Matt Swartz.
Matt Swartz
Like
getting
no gain
credit
on
for the
play.
tackle.
2nd down and 10. Ball is
Well, they got a good
1
spot of that
yard
ball
on the
back
good side
right at
neutral
the
field.
49-yard line. So we'll call it 2nd down and 10. Under a minute remains in the quarter. Davis stays in as the running back, offset to the right. 2 wide to the left. Barner looking to his left now, takes the snap, rolls to his right, sets, throws. He's got a man out there. The ball is caught inside the Cougar 35. That's a good catch. Leaving his feet, Damon White. He goes 6'2", went up and got it on a wet night. And the Saints keep the drive alive. And they will have it 1st and 10 at the USF 31. And they are already up to the line of scrimmage, ready to run a play. Cougars wanted to make some change personnel-wise, could not get it done. Coward shows blitz defensive right side. And Barner looks, read option again, out the middle again. Inside the Cougar 30 to the 28. Davis slipped away. That time Marcus Stepp was shooting through and had a shot potentially.
Darius Davis up the middle.
Jordan May made the stop, and we have reached the end of this first quarter. So it's kind of a baseball score in the early going here in ADRIAN, Michigan, under the light rain. 7-2 USF, but a lead is a lead, but in jeopardy when we return to Michigan for quarter 2 action. This is Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, WRDF 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana. Back in Michigan, we head to quarter 2 action. Cougars had that tenuous 7-2 lead. Now the Saints, they throw a bubble screen right side. A good block will free up Wright to the right side. Wright got a downfield block.
Male candidates for King, Jared Stober.
And he's got himself a
Mitchell
first down.
Rader, Jared Brown, and Adam
We'll take a look at some of the first quarter numbers. Green with 7 carries, 91 yards already, the 57-yard touchdown run. Ferrer through the air, 3 of 4 for 16 yards. He was been sacked once. Darius Davis, 8 carries, 22 yards. And Barner with 5 for 5 through the air for 53 yards. He was not given the first down. It's 3rd down at about a yard from the right side hash mark. Here's the read option again, and Darius Davis is going to lose yardage back around the 25. Cougars have done a good job of spying on him. Eric Himmelgarn in there with the stop. So now it's 4th down and they need a yard.
2017 miss.
If you thought about field goals, they are 5 of 7. Brady Tanguay was 0 for 1, had a blocked field goal attempt last week.
Hold for the King.
They're going to go for
Big
it.
4th down for the Saints.
Barner repositions Darius Davis off to his right side behind him. 2 wide again. Cougars come up and press coverage. At least the corners do. Short drop. Here's the throw, the fade left side. Looking down the corner. Ball is fought for. And was it intercepted? No, they're going to rule it no catch. So the 4th down stop is made by USF. They'll take over the football at the 13:36 mark. It will remain a 7-2 St. Francis lead.
2017 Charmaine Wills, a big hand.
So the first 4th down stop.
King for 2017 for your Siena Heights
We'll see where the
University
Cougars are going to
Saints.
take over the football.
Mitchell Brader.
Looks like it'll be at the USF 24-yard line.
Congratulations to everyone.
Saints were trying to hit 6'2 wideout Adam Landers. That ball was well defended by the Cougars in the end zone. In fact, it came very close to having an interception. But now Ferrer trying to steady his team down and come back with some first downs. As he takes the snap, play action fake, throws over the middle. Boswell's got it across the 35 to the 36. And Sean Boswell,
Caught by number 19.
who did lead the Cougars with 7 catches last week, 89 yards. It was the first game in a long time that Ferrer did not throw a touchdown in that ball game win last week against Concordia.
Cougars pick up.
But a win is a win. Chrisman in, now wind to the left side.
37-yard line, 1st and 10.
Green has done all the ball carrying so far for USF. That includes that 57-yard touchdown run. 1st and 10. Read option. There's Green. Starts up the middle. Now trying to turn the corner. Does. 40-45. And out of bounds on the near sideline into Saints territory. Down to about the 48-yard line goes Justin Green. Green trying to follow the blocking scheme off to the right between Austin Smoger and Nick Shoemaker. Was not there. He bounced it out to his right. And then in a foot race was able to turn the corner and pick up big yards. They'll mark it at the 47. The official just putting that ball down, trying to guard it as best he can. Well, it looks like the heavy drizzle has abated. Here's Ferrer to throw. Looks left side. There's a catch made at the 40. And it's Boswell who lost his helmet. He did not voluntarily take it off. And he will immediately head to the Cougar bench. But he will pick up about, see where they're going to spot that ball, maybe around the 39. So that will leave them with second down, and let's call it a long two coming up for St. Francis. Leading at 7-2. Nepper with a punt blocked into the end zone and across the end line for the safety, getting the Saints on the board. And Green to the house with an early touchdown. 7-2 where we're at. 11:43 remains in the first half. Ball's at the left side hash mark for Ferrer. Looks to Green again. Curls up the middle. Breaks it outside. 35-30, 25 and has to step out of bounds. Did not want to take the hit. Trying to protect the football. He's down to the 23-yard line. And Justin Green reading things very well and just taking what he can see that Saints defense trying to give up.
The Cougars. They'll spot it at the 23-yard line.
Cougars just outside the red zone now. Chrisman stays in wide to the far side. That's the Cougar sidelines out there. And trips wide right. Shotgun formation for Ferrer. Here's Nick. Has the snap. Looks. Checks off. Now flush to his right. Looks again. Throws a comeback pattern. That's run by Nick Rixey's got it. And then he's down inside the 15 to the 12-yard line. Dan Rixey, and that is good for a first down. So Ferrer in the pocket and then flush to his right side, buying time. And Dan Rixey moving well without the ball, came back to help his quarterback. 1st and 10, USF at the Saints 12-yard line.
Good for a Cougar first down.
Cougars huddled up right now. Now Connor Holcomb brings them up the line of scrimmage. They'll go back with Gagner in and off the right wing as a blocker. And here's Green again, dances in the middle, trying to spin off a tackle, works his way down to the 10, maybe another yard to the 9. Boy, Justin Green with fancy footwork. And I got to think that he enjoys games like this.
Logan Smith.
Duke Blackwell in there for a snap. 180-pound sophomore at 5'10".
2nd down and 7.
Did not have a catch last week. Has got 9 on the year, but of those 9 catches, 3 are good for touchdowns. Rixey wide to the short side to the right. It'll be second down, and let's call it 7. Cougars can pick up a first down inside the 5. Here's and Ferrer. They got him again for a sack back at the 20-yard line. Again, it was Jared Whitted. Jared Whitted is how they pronounce it, but his second sack of the ball game.
13, Nick Ferrer in the backfield. That's a huge.
That'll move the ball back outside the 15 to the 18-yard line.
Massive 3rd down.
So 3rd down coming up for USF.
Down in 17. Ball's at the
Cougars trying to get the ball down inside the 3, just outside the 2 on this snap. Ferrer out of the pistol. Takes the snap again. Blitz is coming up the middle. Throws over the middle. He's got a man. That's Gagner. Had the ball and could not hold on. It was dying. He had to reach down low, but Zach could not hold on. It'll bring up 4th down. Now let's see if they're going to bring on Gardner, who was 1 for 4 going into the ball game last week. Then he was 3 for 3. Big field goals, 2 of them in the second half. Had a long of 24. He now is, let's see, this will be a 35-yard field goal by Gavin Gardner. That would be his long of the year. Waiting for the snap. Here's the kick is long enough on the way, and it is good. 35-yard field goal by Gavin Gardner. And the Cougars with points on the board, they'll extend their lead out to 10-2 with 8:51 remaining in this first half. And we'll step out as well. This is Cougar football on the road on Redeemer Radio, WRDF 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Number 87, Gavin Gardner, puts his foot in it. Good from 35, making the score. The visiting St. Francis Cougars 10, Siena Heights University Saints 2. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, today's game is being broadcast live and locally on WLEN Radio, which is Siena Heights exclusive.
So the Cougars settle for the field goal. It was a 45-yarder by Gavin Gardner.
3.9 FM and follow Chris Renwick.
His long on the year was 34, so that's a new personal best.
Also streaming today's game live online. Visit SHUSaints.com.
And the Cougars back up now. Still a one-score lead, basically, though. Here with 8:51 remaining. And Gardner again will kick it away from left to right. A little update for you, weather-wise. Looks to be just now kind of a basic heavy mist is the best way to put it. 2 back deep and kick return.
Back deep for your Saints, number 87. Gavin Gardner.
They use a lot of different personnel in their kick return complement. Gardner's ready. Wind kind of kicking up a little bit now as Gardner puts it deep, end over end. That's deep into the end zone, and they will not run it out. Thought about it for a second, but so Carabino is the kick returner. It'll come out to the 25, and that's where the Saints go back to work offensively. So 8:51 remaining in this first half. Both teams come in undefeated in Mid-East League competition. 2-0.
Thanks to all of our ticket sponsors, McDonald's. Don't forget to check out the back of your ticket for coupons. Also, thanks to Frickers once again.
Barner now bringing the offense back onto the field.
As well as the press box staff and visitors.
Cougars staying on the road
stop in after the game.
Next Saturday, being St. Louis taking on Missouri Baptist. That will be a 1 o'clock Fort Wayne kickoff time with a pregame on Redeemer Radio at 12:45. Shotgun formation now for Barner. 3 wide to the right side. Short drop. Looks right and is going to be spun around, but he got away from it and throws the ball away. Boy, Barner fortunate.
Some trouble in the backfield. They'll just fling it.
Let's see who that was. Says it might have been Dutton.
Second down and 10.
No, it was Marcus Stepp. Marcus Stepp came in there, and normally a sure tackler. As that one, that was dead red. He had Barner in his grasp, but could not hold on the wet evening. And it'll be second down and 10. Same formation with 3 wide to the right. Got 1 wide here to the near side, and Barner again out of the gun. Barking out the signals. Looks, steps up, wants to throw on the run, and he's got a catch. And that is good for a couple of yards out across the 25 to about the 27. So kind of a safety valve throw out there to the right side to Adam Glanders, and it'll bring up 3rd down and long. Saints trying to reach their own 35-yard line on this snap.
To Braylon Bader along the far sideline.
On 3rd downs last week,
3rd down and 7.
at Taylor they were 5 of 13 for 38%. On the year, they are 35% on 3rd down opportunities, trying to reach the 35. Cougars drop 5 back in the nickel coverage. And Barner now from the right side hash mark. Ready for the snap. And looks again, rolls and steps up. He's got running room now. Throws on the run, and here's a wide throw. I'll tell you what, he could have run for the first down, I believe. But elected to throw in the middle. That one's off target. So it'll be 4th down, and we'll see a punt coming up by Siena Heights, still with 7:50 remaining in the first half. And Sean Boswell will drop back and punt return, waiting at the Cougar 30-yard line. Boswell had 1 punt return against Concordia last week for 8 yards. He is 5th in the MSFA, averaging 25 yards a punt return. Wagner inside the 15 at the 14. High snap, and he one-hands the ball, and now he's got to try to come up with it, and he's going to be brought down around the 5-yard line. So the wet conditions, and that will give St. Francis a golden opportunity now, trying to cash in on the bad snap. They'll spot it outside the 5 at the 6.
Down at the 6-yard line, the Cougars will take over first and goal. Right there.
So St. Francis on the 4th down snap. Kind of reminiscent, wasn't it, of several weeks ago in that ball game at Darcy Stadium. Now USF trying to cash in and extend an 8-point lead now with 7:42 remaining in the first half. And they have an inverted wishbone around. Ferreira hands it off Green. Green dances and into the end zone. It'll be a touchdown for Justin Green, officially a touchdown run of 6 yards.
17, Justin Green takes the give. He goes up the middle.
So one play after the bad snap.
A Cougar touchdown.
And the time of the score, 7:36. And that's a big one for St. Francis, as Green, for the second time in a row tonight, with a touchdown run. Now Gardner will come on to try to add the extra point. Right-footed kick is on the way. It is long enough, end over end, and it is good.
Gardner,
so add one to the Cougar total, and they will lead at 17-2, up by 15 points. That's a score you don't hear often in football, but the Cougars by 15 with a timeout on the field down below here at McLaughlin Stadium. And we'll step out. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana. Robert, are you hearing a lot of static in the spots, or is that just on my end because of the rain? Okay, it must be on me because...
Those in Toledo area, please check your local listings for the game broadcast times.
Well, we're all battling the elements in one way or another here tonight in ADRIAN, Michigan. Do not see a lot of umbrellas up, though, at this point, and that may be because of house rules. A lot of places now do not allow umbrellas. Then again, maybe I'm thinking of the Kentucky Derby. That's a whole another set of circumstances. Cougars up 17-2. Gardner just hit the extra point, drives it end over end, and that went across the end line, and he got everything of that one. So the Saints again will bring it out and start first and 10
sends it through the end zone
at their own 25-yard line.
Saints will take over first and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Well, we told you about the Cougars going and staying on the road next Saturday. They'll be in St. Louis taking on Missouri Baptist. And let's take a look at the Saints. They will be idle next week, so their next contest will be 2 weeks from tonight, and they'll be at Marion on October the 28th. So tough schedule for the Saints. Two of the top teams in the mid-states. Here's a run to the left side. Darius Davis has been the main.
Gets the give. He's shoveled down by number 4.
Lee Stewart came up and made that stop.
Looks like no gain on the play.
No gain.
Down in 10.
So right now trying to protect the equipment best we can from some of the wet conditions. And hopefully that's not creating connection problems. Second down and 10. Barner checks that St. Francis defense. Back in cover 2 now. Barner, long count from the line of scrimmage, looks to hand it off again. And dancing right side, there's not much there. That might be Washington in getting a carry for maybe about a half a yard. St. Francis really playing well. Ryan Johnson came in there with run support. Stan Jackson also there.
Muscled down by number 32.
So it'll be third down and 9. Saints trying to get out to their own 35-yard line.
3rd down and 9.
Dutton now moves off to the right side. Let's see if he's showing blitz. Now Spencer Coward lines up next to him as well. Cougars coming after this one. Barner out of the gun. Looks to throw. Now rolls, steps up, being pursued. Throws on the run, right side. Got a wide open catch at the 42-yard line. Blown coverage that time by St. Francis. Somebody missed a man.
Barner finds a wide open.
And the Cougars will talk about that one. That was an easy pitch and catch. So they'll move the chains and the Saints. As the clock moves inside of 6 minutes, they will have the ball right at the 50-yard line, 1st and 10. Barner now looking back near side, trying to get the play. They use a couple of chalkboards to wag the play in. And Barner again on 1st and 10. Obviously better field position at midfield. Drops the throw, steps up. Can he run? He will. Slides down. Hit at the USF 47. And when he started the slide, they may mark that ball back at the 48. It will be a gain of 3.
94, the closest Cougar on the play. Match Sports.
You know, Barner, as we mentioned, with 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. Also has about 30 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. He had 7 carries for no positive yards last week against Taylor. 2nd down and 8. Ball basically in the middle of the field now for the Saints. Barner again looking, read option, rolls to the left and being pursued, spins to his left, nice move, throws on the run and threw it away. That one may have sailed on him. Cougars were pursuing that time.
Barner intended for Glanders down the Saints sideline.
Best shot of Malachi Mannion.
3rd down and 8. Ball's
got free in the second, or in the backfield and had a shot, but very elusive. Luke Barner fake to his right, spun back to the left, and Mannion could not make that play. But now it's 3rd down and 8. Trying to get to the USF 40-yard line on this snap. Barner, empty backfield, 3 wide left, 2 wide right. Looks, checks the Cougar D. Short drop, being pursued, got rid of it in a hurry, and the ball is up, and that was intercepted and then dropped by Lee Stewart. Not sure that he had it long enough inbounds. Stewart left his feet trying to get a foot down in bounds to complete the interception. That would have been the first of the year against Lucas Barner, but instead, incomplete pass. And Wagner will come on to punt the ball away again with 4:46 remaining.
Brings up 4th and 8. The Saints will punt.
And Sean Boswell will set up shop back inside the Cougar 10-yard line or thereabouts. Wagner at the 36. This time the snap to him, got it away short, and it'll hit right side, takes a bounce and is hit at the 15-yard line by one of the Saints downfield. He could have let it go probably another 10 yards and buried the Cougars back inside the 5, but didn't want to take a chance of it going into the end zone across the goal line. So St. Francis will have the ball back 1st and 10.
Killed it at the
with a lead of 15 points.
Killed it at the 16-yard line. Cougars 1st and 10.
We're going to see Andreas Gomez Espino check into the ball game now as one of the wideouts. For St. Francis comes wide to the right side. He'll be joined by Duke Blackwell. Rocky James not playing tonight. Will be another week or 2 before we see him back. Here's the read option, a give to Green. Green looking, gets by. Angles to his right across the 20 out to the 23, 24-yard line.
Brought down by number 6.
It's very close to a first down, and he is running well here tonight in the mist. They'll spot it at the 24-yard line.
2nd down and 2.
Clock will move inside of 4 minutes, probably before this snap of the football. Nate Carson also into the ball game. He's one of the wideouts to the far side. 2 wide to the left, 1 wide to the right. And here is Ferrer. Hands the ball to Green again. Trying to turn the corner and leaps over a would-be tackler. Got across the 25. I don't know if he got enough yardage for the first down. He needed a couple yards. Looks like he might still be about a yard short.
Timeout for an injured player.
Now we have a timeout. One of the Saints is down.
Zachary Flack brings down number 17.
So let's take a pause here in Adrian, Michigan. 3:52 remaining here in the first half. Timeout on the field for the injury. 17-2 St. Francis with a, let's see if they did give them a first down. So apparently Green able to get enough necessary yardage. But we'll step out. We'll be back in 30. This is Cougar Football and Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana. Robert, to be honest with you, I'm not paying a lot of attention to the log. I'm just running spots as we need them, and you can update me as we go if I'm way behind or whatever. Okay, all right, buddy. You might let me know if I'm missing live reads, though. So Green does run for the first down. A new set of downs for the Cougars with 3:37 on the clock, and clock is ticking away. Ferrer now looking again to Green. Play action fake. Throws the out pass. He's got Blackwell. He's hauled down at the 32. Good pursuit that time by the Saints.
Ferrer's pass complete to number 10.
That was Daquan Butler had the coverage and stayed with them for a pickup, but not before gain of about 6. Second down and 4 coming up.
Second down and 4.
Cougars trying to manage the clock now as it approaches 3 minutes time remaining in this first half. Blackwell stays in. Check it. It's Nate Carson wide to the left. And one wide to the right now. Corner come up in press coverage. Play clock is down to 7. Ferrer might be changing the play call at the line of scrimmage. And looks to throw. And throws left side. He's got, I believe that's Boswell with the catch and trying to maneuver for more. He's got the first down across the 35. Should get a forward spot of that ball up around the 37-yard line. Clock does stop, so it will be a first down with 2:38 remaining. Now the Cougars with some hurry-up offense.
A correction, Duke Blackwell.
Clock moves again. We're inside 2:30, time remaining.
Nick Stallworth and number 3.
Quick hitting play. The pitch comes left side. There's Green. Green trips up across the 40, fell forward up to about the 41 or 42-yard line.
Over the far side.
That'll keep the clock moving now with 2:13 remaining.
31, Stallworth.
Cougars need a big play or two. Rixey comes back into the ball game now with Will Chrisman. Nate Carson and Gomez Espino check to the bench. Chrisman wide to the left. He'll be joined out there in the slot by Zach Gegner. And 2 wide to the right side. So second down and 6 coming up, under 2 minutes remain. Here's the out pass on the bubble screen. And let's see if they are able to get the first down, as I believe that's Gegner with the catch. Trying to tiptoe on the far sideline to extend the ball, reaching out and get the first down. It looks like they are going to mark him back out of bounds at around the 46-yard line. So a third down call coming up for the Cougars.
Brings up third down and 2. That's a big third down and 2. How about some noise?
USF trying to reach their own 48 on this snap. Rixey wide to the right side. 1:44 remaining in the half. Clock stopped as Gegner went out of bounds. Here's the throw. Rixey's got it. Turns. 45-40. 35. And upended as they caught up to him at about the 29-yard line. But Dan Rixey with a critical catch on 3rd and short. And now with the clock showing 97 seconds remaining, it'll run again, and USF trying to play hurry up with under 90 seconds time remaining. Chrisman stays in. Boswell up on the slot far side. Rixey wide right. Now protectors in. Off to the right side. That's Gegner, I believe, repositioning him. Here's a short. Here's a screen pass coming left side on the bubble screen. And turning the corner, that's Boswell to the 20. Very close again to another first down with 1:10 remaining.
Sean Boswell.
Cougars showing some different looks tonight.
Number 26, Joshua Jackson.
Clock did stop with 1:10 remaining. Nose of the football just outside the 20. Justin Green's done all the scoring so far tonight for USF with a big run of 57 yards early in the ball game. And then after a bad snap punt, a run of 6. Here's Ferrer looking, dancing, throws to the corner, looking. There's Chrisman, can't make the catch. There was a penalty flag in the end zone.
Ferrer's pass.
And let's see how this is going to go.
Incomplete. However,
coverage by Darius Price against Chrisman in the end zone. And we'll check with our referee how this one is going to go.
Prior to the pass being thrown, holding, defense, number 9.
It'll be defensive holding against the Saints. And they'll mark that off from the 15 and bring it down to the 10-yard line. And still just over 1 minute remaining here until intermission.
Spots the ball.
By the way, we'll have an extended halftime, they tell us, of another 5 minutes because of the senior night and homecoming festivities. Kind of a raw evening, at least weather-wise. Too wide to the right. Ferrer's got Gomez Espino, but he'll give a counter run by Green. Green off tackle inside the 10, got down to the 7. He might give him another yard to the 6. And now the St. Francis will take a timeout.
St. Francis, their first of the half.
They've got 2 remaining and leading at 17-2 with under 1 minute remaining here in the first half. We'll step out. Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM Northeast Indiana.
Brought down by number 50, Devontae Collins Anderson.
Gotcha. Am I breaking up on your end?
Ladies and gentlemen, while we have a second, did you know that the SHU Crew is a spirit group on campus that anyone can join? For students, faculty, and staff, the cost just $15. And for alumni, friends, and fans, the cost $25. When you join, you receive your own SHU Crew
well, program note to everybody, equipment, electrical equipment did not do well in wet conditions, so we're trying to keep things as dry as we can. I want to remind everybody the St. Felix Catholic Center in Huntington, Indiana offers 1 day and overnight retreats with over 70 rooms. Be sure to visit Our Lady in her grotto and walk the 30 scenic acres. St. Felix is the former home of Blessed Solanus Casey. Visit their website at Actually, let's make that sfcatholiccenter.com, sfcatholiccenter.com, and schedule your next meeting or retreat.
Scrimmage from the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal.
Cougars offense back on the field now. And they'll have it 2nd down and goal inside the 10. Ferrer drops to throw, looks, throws to the right, and missed along the end line. A little crossing route run by Andreas Gomez Espino. Incomplete. Stops the clock with 52 seconds remaining. It'll be 3rd down in goal. Ball's at the 7-yard line.
Intended for number 1, Andreas Gomez Espino.
Rixey checks in now. Brings the play with him from the bench. Cougars would like to cash in right now.
3rd down and goal from the 8.
Gardner's hit 1 field goal already tonight, and he's made 4 in a row now over the last 2 games. Here's Ferrer looking again, throws to the right, the low ball, that is contested. Let's see, it's ruled incomplete. Gardner was running the wheel route to the right side. He was well defended. They had 2 on him in coverage, and he could not hold on. And they will bring Gavin Gardner on with 47 seconds remaining to try to make it a 20-2 lead. This one will be about a 24-yard attempt.
24-yard attempt.
Nepper, the holder, basically dead on. Maybe just a slight angle to the right. Nepper calls for the snap, has got it down. Right-footed kick is long enough, kind of kick to the left side, but good. Just inside the left upright. So 24-yard field goal by Gavin Gardner, who's been really called upon the last 2 ball games to contribute, and he has answered the challenge. 20-2 in favor of number 1 ranked St. Francis. And we'll be back. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, WRDF 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned at halftime for our Alumni Award winners and Hall of Fame inductees. What a great honor. Please stick around for that.
Really going to force Siena Heights.
Well, we had the Bishop on with us in Darcy Stadium last Saturday afternoon at halftime. Enjoyed his visit.
87.
And we were quick to call his attention
Gavin Gardner.
that we credit in large part to the Cougars' success after that loss to Marion, then going on and winning the national championship. And we credit a lot of it to Bishop Darcy with gracing us with his attendance. Here's a driving kick again by Gardner, 3 yards deep. That's bobble him up, but they'll bring it out now across the 10, 15, 20, running room up the middle. And across the 30-yard line up to the 35 is where the Saints now with some better field position starting. But also just 35 seconds remains in this first half. The lead is 18 for the top-ranked Cougars.
Flag on the play.
And let's see what we have. Penalty flag holding the call against.
During the return, holding number
Against
82.
Siena Heights.
Half the distance
That'll
to
back
goal.
them up
First down.
from the spot of the foul, half the distance back to the goal.
I like how they
So instead of at the 35,
get a chance to return the ball from Gardner, and just breaking the tackle away from taking that all.
and they'll move it back inside the 10 to about the 9 or the 8-yard line, it looks from here.
Seconds remaining.
Going to spot it at the 8.
Just to take an 8.
And right now, Siena Heights is just trying to maybe take a knee for a snap or two and head into the dressing room. They won the toss deferred. They'll get the ball to start the second half. And that's what they do. They take a snap, and St. Francis clock never stopped, or started, I should say, and now it does. And they may have to take one more knee. Well, USF, well, now they reset the play clock as well, so they'll be able to run it out. Then both teams will head to the dressing rooms trying to dry off a little bit.
Your score to start the second half, visiting St. Francis Cougars 20, and your Siena Heights University Saints 2. The Cougars will put their foot into this one and boot it to the Saints to get us underway. Number 14, Justin Carabino back deep for the
Justin
Saints.
Carabino is back deep. He did all the kick returning for the Saints in the first half, back there once again. And Gardner has been driving the ball long and deep here tonight. Will kick it away from right to left. Weatherman said the winds would be out of the south, but looked to be out of the northeast right now. Here comes the kick. It's a pooch kick far side. Fair catch is called, and that is made inside the 30, back around the 26, 27-yard line. So that is where Siena Heights goes to work offensively. They trail it by 18 points. Saints come in with riding a 4-game win streak.
109-45.
They lost their first 2 games of the season on this field. And now for the season, they are 2-2 at home. First and 10. They're going to mark that ball actually at the 30-yard line. Nose of the football just inside the 30, so good spot. And Barner ready to lead his team with the first snap, and he looks to quick a screen left side on the bubble screen. That'll be good for about a 5-6 yard pickup across the 35.
Complete to Bader along this.
Balin Brader had a catch in the first half, has got another one now.
Number
Call it a gain of 6.
Dutton.
They're going to move them back now to the 35, so call it second down and 5.
Very successful.
They're lined up, ready to go at the line of scrimmage. Blitz coming up the middle, and there's Davis, and he's into the second level. One of his best runs of the night. Across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Time ran where the blitz was coming.
Brought down by number 20.
Blake Schumacher came up and run support to make that tackle. But it's a first down. First and 10 now. And here's the screen coming far side once again. And they're just taking what the Cougar defense gives. Lee Stewart came up and made the tackle. But they'll spot it a yard deep into St. Francis territory at the 49-yard line.
I like the pace right now.
Himmelgarn out there defensively on the nose once again. Jamasich and Jordan May.
Check that. Good for 4. Second 6.
Well, it's second down and 6 coming up for the Saints. Barner 2 wide to the right. Spreads the field. It gives to Davis again. Wrapped up right at midfield. Carries tacklers down for another couple of
Davis
yards to the Cougar 47.
39, Eric Dunton.
Well, the equipment got a little bath here tonight early in the ball game. A little concerned about some of the wear and tear, but it's drying out a little bit better now. On still kind of a moist night, heavy humidity. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Clock inside 13 and a half minutes, time remaining in this third quarter. Trips wide to the right side. Barner barking out the signals. Cougars showing a blitz. And here's a throw, and they've got a catch for the first down. Good play. That's a quick slant inside the USF 40-yard line to the 37.
Barner again complete to Bader. Balls at the
Braylon
37.
Bader
First down.
on that catch. Redshirt junior, just 5'9", 180. Quick hitting play again. There's Darius Davis again, reached to the 34. That'll be a pickup of about 3.
Darius Davis up the middle. He's stacked up.
Davis came in with 742 rushing yards. That was 3rd best among MSFA ball carriers.
3, 2nd down and 7.
Joe Connor, we saw him last week, number 1 for Concordia. Justin Green was number 2. High snap. Here's a quick throw, and they've got a catch, and they will have, again, let's see if they get the first down. That was a quick bubble screen to the far side once again. And it was to the tall wideout.
Saints first down.
That was Glanders who reached out and leaped for the first down. Hurry up offense. A bad snap, and it's loose, and I think St. Francis has got it. That one escaped Barner, and the Cougars have got it at their own 35, 36-yard line. Let's see who got in there to cover that.
St. Francis Cougars.
Now, they're not going to tell us, but I will tell you this. Devin Green was very close to that ball.
6-yard line, 1st and 10.
So the fumble recovery gives St. Francis on a drive that was in the works. Very effective. And St. Francis now goes back to work offensively. Their first possession of the second half, leading at 20-2. Got it at the 36-yard line. And Ferrer with Justin Green in there. Read option, gives to Green, dances away to the middle. Got a couple of yards, maybe up to about the 38-yard line. We'll see where they spot that ball.
Number 17, Justin Green. Over the far hash mark, tripped up by number.
Absolutely. We mentioned.
So the Cougars,
Logan Smith.
Who this drive starts with a fumble recovery at their 36-yard line. Now have 2nd down and 8. We'll check the wideouts for you. 2 wide to the left and tandem receivers to the right side. That's the short side of the field. Here's Ferrer from the right side hash mark and gave it up to Green, who was stopped initially. Try his luck again off to the right. He'll get another 1.5 yards up to about the 39. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long call for St. Francis coming up. They were just 2 of 6 on 3rd down calls in the first half. And with the ball spotted now at the Cougar 39-yard line. Green checks out of the ball game.
Big 3rd down and 7. Ball's at the 39-yard line.
Rixey in wide to the right side. Up on the wing to the right is Zach Gegner. 2 wide to the left. And Ferrer, let's see if that's Snotter in there. Now Gegner is flanked out to the right side. And here's a throw to the left, and looking for Boswell. Can't find the handle. Reached out a left hand at the 30-yard line, but unable to haul that one in. So it'll bring up 4th down. And St. Francis unable to convert. By the way, it was Ryan Snotter in there for 1 snap. And Cougars will bring on Nepper to kick the ball away.
Nice defensive play, Joshua Jackson.
And Austin Kreider will drop back into punt return out of Homestead High School. Now a sophomore for the Saints. He waits back around his own 15-yard line.
15 and 2/3 yard line.
They're going to reposition that football for Nepper off to the right side hash mark at the 39-yard line. Nepper had 1 official punt in addition to the block punt, and 1 of 40 yards. Now let's see the play clock. I think they're going to reset that. They do to 25 seconds, and it runs again. Nepper waits at the 26-yard line for the snap. No, they run the ball, and here's a run to the left side. And on his feet at the 45, to the 50. That's Marcus Stepp to the 40. 35 gets to the outside. And the short snap to Marcus Stepp, as the Cougars had one earlier in the year at North Dakota with Pearson Harnish on 4th and 1. He ran 50 yards for a touchdown. Stepp not able to emulate that, but he ran big, and he's got the ball. There's a penalty flag, though, back at the Cougar 42-yard line. So let's see what we've got going on. Right now, it'll look to be St. Francis with a new set of downs at the 34 of Siena Heights, but that is pending. And we'll wait for this decision by the Marcus Stepp coming back on the field, just claps his hands. He know he had a good one. He got tripped up a little bit about the 41, but is able to step out of a would-be tackle. And this crew still conversing. So St. Francis is bringing Knepper back out, and that would seem to bode that there will be a punt coming up. But still no official decision, but might be coming up right now.
During the run, holding. Offense, number 9, 10-yard penalty, 4th down.
That penalty goes against Pearson Harnish on a hold.
Offense, number 31. That will be a 15-yard penalty, 4th down. That is his first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
Is that a personal foul that'll be tacked on against Marcus Stepp? Didn't see what that's all about. But instead of that ball down at the 35 of Siena Heights, Cougars will have to punt it away. And they'll put that ball down at about the USF 16-yard line.
A couple penalties will push the Cougars back and make it.
So that is a big turnaround with 10:39 remaining in this third quarter. We've had no scoring. Still 20-2. But Kreider now back in to punt return for the Saints, and he will step up to about his own 45-yard line. Knepper has got to be careful. He's had one blocked for a safety tonight. And still we are waiting for what? I think, yes, across the way, Cougar coach Kevin Donnelly has got 3 of the officials gathered around him trying to explain what they saw.
Up at the 44-yard line.
So here we go. Knepper hoping for a good snap. And a good kick. Trying to get it away quickly. Flexes his kicking leg. And gets ready once again. Here's the snap, high snap. Knepper got it, kick is away. Got that one away. They were coming. Ball hits. Kreider has to let it bounce inside the 40. And it comes down to about the 36-yard line. It's still rolling down to about the 35. And to the 34-yard line of the Saints is where the Siena Heights Saints will take over the football. So Knepper got a good roll. That one was nearly blocked. They were coming through up the middle. And we've got another flag. And let's see what we've got here.
Running into the kicker, defense, number 21. That penalty is declined. First down, Siena Heights.
Penalty was running into the kicker. It was not going to give St. Francis an automatic first down. So instead, and by the way, they're going to rule that that ball was touched by St. Francis into Cougar territory at the 46-47 yard line. So that is where the Saints started, not back at their own inside the 35. And once again, Kevin Donnelly is asking for the officials what is going on out there. He has seen 2 rather, shall we say, strange calls in this second half. We were not given the name of the referee tonight, so we're not sure exactly who that is. And let's see, are they going to... I believe the Cougars now have reconsidered and will accept the penalty running into the kicker.
Right now, it looks like they're not going to.
So Knepper will still have to punt the ball.
They are going to take the penalty.
So let's see where they march that off from.
We have a running into the kicker, which is a 5-yard penalty, which will
just a 5-yard penalty.
The Saints.
So that'll move the ball up to about the 21-yard line.
Again, and attempt 4th down, and it looks like they will punt. It's 4th and 25.
Yeah, no question that the Cougars will still have to punt the ball with 4th and 25 still ahead of them. And now the Saints bring 10 men up to the line of scrimmage. Only Kreider's back deep in punt return at the Saints' 40-yard line. Nepper again needing a good snap of the football. And it's right delivered to him, steps into it, got it away. High wobbly ball, Kreider runs up to it and calls fair catch at midfield. So very good field position now for the Saints. And trying for the first time tonight to get points on the board other than the safety.
Signals for the fair
they have been held scoreless as far as touchdowns or field goals. Do have the early safety that came late in the first quarter that made it 7-2 at that point. Cougars have scored 13 in a row since that point of the ball game, leading it still 20-2. 10:09 remains in quarter 3 action. So Barner with Davis has done all the running tonight. In there at running back, high snap, read option. They give it to Davis, trying to find a little opening to his left. Got a yard deep into Cougar territory to the 49, and that's about it. St. Francis has done a pretty good job tonight of keying on Darius Davis, not giving a lot to him. Step stays in there at linebacker right now. Thought he had a great play. Harrison Harnish out there, and we presume that is Eric Dutton, the other linebacker, on the right side. 2nd down and 9. Barner sets up out of the pistol once again, 3 wide to his right. Step coming, perhaps on a blitz. And here's a quick throw to the middle, and that's short hopped into the ground. Again, the rush was coming on Barner. Had to unload in a hurry and just threw it to the ground, and they'll bring up 3rd down and long with Saints trying to get to their own 40-yard line. And we mentioned 3rd down problems in the first half for St. Francis, just 2 of 6. But Siena Heights with 1 for 6. Play clock at 18. Saints not huddling up, but they wait for the play to be wagged in from the near side. Now we're at 12, we're at 11. Barner on 3rd and 9. As motion left to right behind the line of scrimmage. And here's Barner, looks to the right side, screens the ball back to the left, and here's a run. They will not get only up to about the 46 of St. Francis. So again, it will be 4th down and still about 6 or 7 coming up for the Saints, and they'll bring the punt team on once again.
Ball will be spotted at the
Aaron Wagner.
It's a 4th down.
Back into punt once again.
So punt, Wagner
had 3 punts in the first half, along of 42. Averaged in the first 30 minutes, 38.3. Boswell back, waits at the Cougar 10. Here's a snap, and the kick is away. That one not very long. It does hit, takes a high bounce at the 20, and is out of bounds right about the 20-yard line. So St. Francis once again goes to work on offense as things have settled down here so far in this second half. Cougars have had 2 touchdown runs in the first half, one a big one by Justin Green of 57 yards. And then after a 4th down stop on a bad snap on 4th down, they took over at the Saints 6, paved the way the next play for another 6-yard touchdown run by Justin Green. Green came in with 78 points, leading scorer in the Mid-States Football Association. He has added at least 12 to that total tonight.
On the previous play, the ball was touched by the St. Francis player. However, the Siena player did not recover the ball inbounds. 1st down, St. Francis.
Wow. Our official just let us know that a Cougar did touch that ball on the punt. Don't think it was Boswell, but it was not recovered inbounds by Siena Heights. Otherwise, they would have the ball at the USF 20-yard line. Now it's 1st and 10. And here's Ferrer, wants to throw, looks, throws over the middle, looking for Chrisman. Chrisman looking, he's got the ball at the 40-yard line and backs into a defender at the 35, takes him down inside the 30 to the 28, and Will Chrisman made a play. That is a big play. Had one last week, set up a touchdown. And the 216-pound, 6'6" sophomore comes up with a big one for the Cougars, and they'll have it 1st and 10. And they'll spot it at the 28-yard line. 1st and 10.
1st and 10.
Clock inside of 8.5 minutes, time remaining in the third quarter. Mark it at the 28. Always helps when you're 6'6" and have great hands. Boswell up on the slot to the right side. Rixey splits wide of him. Green in as the running back. And 2 wide to the left. Here's the draw coming up, and Green knocked down, but did not need a hit, but they're coming at him and takes a big hit. Still on his feet, did not go down, but gave ground back outside the 35 to about the 38. And we have a Saint down the opposite side of the field getting up slow.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
That's Nick Stallworth, who had a big first half defensively with a lot of tackles.
Number 17,
and they'll come out to attend to him. That might be the first loss yardage of the night for Justin Green, and all the way back outside the 40 to the 42-yard line.
14 on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 24.
Clock stopped with just under 8 minutes time remaining. Stallworth being assisted off the field on his feet, but needing some assistance. So Ferrero will have to go back to work. It'll be 2nd down and 24. The ball at the 42-yard line now after that big loss by Justin Green. Well, he was like a human pinball being batted around there and never did really go down, but steadily gave ground. Here's Ferrer to throw again. In the pocket, being flushed to his right. And runs, and he will get what he can. Gets back to about the 41 and then took a late hit. And that will give USF an automatic 1st down on the personal foul coming up to Siena Heights.
Ferrer keeps it busted out
Nick
of bounds.
Okay coming back on the field, walking okay.
Sideline, however, flag on the play.
You know, Ferrero was well out of bounds, but still got hit. Cougars have been talking to the officials the last several games about Ferrero getting hit well after throws, and that time they got him, the Saints, for the late hit. That'll move the ball down to about the 25-yard line. And now they'll spot it at the 24, I believe.
5-yard line of the Saints, 1st and 10.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the right side hash mark. Gardner splits wide to the right. He's up on the slot in tandem with Rixey, lines up behind him. That's the short side to the right. Ferrer with 2 wide to the left again. Looks to Green. Green trying to slide off to the left side. He got to about the 24, drives the pile to about the 23. Now they're going to mark him down back at the 24.
Late to the party, jumping on top of everybody.
Blockers down there trying to help Justin Green out.
Number 17 again, Green.
Duke Blackwell now checks into the ball game. Boswell leaves. Carson was in there for a play. He leaves. Chrisman back in. It'll be 2nd down and 9 after a gain of 1. Gomez Espino in, wide to the right. Blackwell up in the slot to the right side. Now they've got double coverage here to the left side on Chrisman. And let's see what Ferrer tries to do. Throws in the middle. He's got a catch. And that's to the 5-yard line. Quick, deep post run that time, and USF will be knocking on the door. Duke Blackwell running down the middle.
Across the middle, complete to number 10, Duke Blackwell.
Oh, Blackwell, as we mentioned, some sterling numbers. Came in with 9 catches on the year, but 3 of them were good for touchdowns.
Play at the 5-yard line, 1st and goal.
Had a couple of catches last week for 14 yards, and that was a big one. Puts them knocking on the door, trying to add to their 20-2 lead. Under 6 minutes remains in the quarter. Motion right to left behind the line of scrimmage. Green off tackle right side. Follows a block. Trying to get into the end zone. Touchdown. Justin Green for the 3rd time tonight to the house. This time officially a touchdown run of 5 yards.
St. Francis touchdown.
That comes at the 5:47 mark. So Justin Green set up by that Will Chrisman catch. And that was kind of the same situation last week against Concordia. Green from 5 yards out. Now Gardner attempts to add the extra point on the way, end over end, and it is good. So the Cougars on the board for the first score of the second half, and they lead it 27-2, a lead of 25 points with 5:47 remaining in the quarter. We'll step out. This is Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
St. Francis 27, Siena Heights University 2. One more thank you to our ticket sponsor, McDonald's. Don't forget to check out the back of your ticket for coupons. Also, thank you to Frickers for once again supplying the food to the President's Box, as well as the Press Box staff and visitors. Be sure to stop into Frickers after the game. Frickers!
Just a very light mist now falling here on the fans. No evidence of umbrellas out, and we mentioned a good crowd on hand at McLaughlin Stadium because of senior night and homecoming, and a good turnout from Cougar fans across the way as well. Still kind of a damp night though, and USF will kick it away from right to left. 5:47 remains here in this third quarter. Gardner ready to hit it at the 35, drives it high, end over end. Coming up to it, Carabino, he sees it bounce high, takes it at the 4. Runs up the middle, spun around and dropped. He did not reach the 15-yard line, or did he? But that is all. So it will be 1st and 10 for the Saints as they bring out the offensive unit, still looking for their first points other than the safety of the night.
Saints scrimmage from the 15-yard line, 1st and 10.
Let's see who's coming out now. Wilmer Cole stays out there on a corner. Schumacher out with Lee Stewart in cover 2. And I believe Marcus Stepp stays out there as well. Here's a bad snap over the head and nearly getting into the end zone. And it will be recovered by St. Francis for a touchdown. And let's see if we can get the number of who handed that ball to the official. Bad snap into the end zone, recovered by USF.
Brennan snap over his head.
So we mentioned the wet conditions.
And then covered by Brennan.
Another bad snap, that into the end zone. Barnard could not cover up on it. The Cougars do.
Result in a safety.
Oh, they now do not rule it a touchdown. It will be a safety.
29. Siena Heights University Saints 2.
So the Cougars get a safety. We've had 2 of them here tonight at the 5:38 mark. So that'll make it 29-2. Initially, the official came up with a touchdown signal, not the safety signal. But that's the way it'll be, and now Saints will have a free kick from their own 20-yard line. But the Cougars will get possession of the football back. Still 5:38 remaining in this third quarter.
Saints have an option of a free kick.
See, they will have a place kick as well.
Will place the ball on the tee and boot it.
Cougars do not have Justin Green back deep in kick return at the 25. Again, we'll check the number when we get a chance.
Boot to the guy standing back deep for the Cougars.
If they indeed would make it to the Super Bowl, I would buy tickets.
Well, we've had a couple of safeties tonight on bad snaps, one each way. But USF has got 29 on the board and a lead of 27 now. Late in this third quarter. Here comes the kick. And running up to it, it'll be returned by Pearson Harnish, 40-45, cuts to his left, and takes tacklers into Saints territory down to about the 46-yard line. So Pearson Harnish with the kick return. It'll be 1st and 10, and the Cougars will have very good field position now into Saints territory right at the 45-yard line.
Harnish gathers the kick. Takes it up to the 45-yard line. Cougars scrimmage 1st and 10.
We'll see Ryan Sonata check back in as the running back now. Sonata came into the ball game with 117 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. And he'll get the call. No, it's Ferreira. Looks to throw in the middle, and he's got a catch. Big hit made But that catch is made at the 30-yard line. So the Cougars, now they're going to rule it no catch.
Fourier's pass intended for number 84.
That was Dylan Hunley that was the intended receiver.
By number 6 from the
Freshman at
Saints.
6 foot. Did not haul it in, so it'll be 2nd and 10. The ball back at the Saints 45-yard line. Hunley stays in, too wide to the right side. As Ferrer out of the pistol now, waiting, long count from the line of scrimmage. Still looks, hands it off. Here is a Green back in there, carries the pile down inside the 42, may have got to the 41 or close to it. No, I apologize. That is Sonater still in there. Ryan Sonater did carry, driving it. Well, Ryan came in out of Bishop Dwenger High School, averaging about 4.5 yards a carry.
Ball's at the 42, make some noise.
So gain of 3's coming up, and it'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Cougars, trying to reach the 35-yard line of Siena Heights. Boswell back in with Rixey. They're sent wide to the right. Nate Carson in to the short side to the left. And here is Ferrer looking to throw. Looks, throws to the right side, and that one is incomplete. He's trying to hit Boswell. Little square out pattern run to the far side, but nothing doing. And once again, the 3rd down bid fails for St. Francis, and they'll bring in the punt team here on 4th down and 7 with 4:37 remaining in this 3rd quarter.
Ferrer's pass intended for 19, showing Boswell.
Nepper in the punt, waits at the USF 45. Kreider back around the 12 of Siena Heights. Here's a snap to Nepper, steps into it, got it away. Kreider calls fair catch and has got it at the 16. So the Saints again on offense with 4:30 as the defense is settled down. And you look at the second half, only the 5-yard touchdown run by Justin Green, and then the recent safety for St. Francis. So they've got 9 points. And a lead here at 29-2, a lead of 27. That is their biggest lead of the night. Let's see if the Saints are staying with Lucas Barner. He drops to throw. Looks, time of the pocket, throws over the middle. That one is incomplete. Let's see if we are going to have a penalty flag, and we are.
Barner's pass down the middle intended for number 1.
That was Lee Stewart who tried to time his leap, but may have been there just a tad early on Damon Wright. That will draw the penalty flag, and it'll be walked off against St. Francis. Barner that time trying to go over the middle. Pass interference against USF.
Number 41, 15 yards.
Oh, check it. I said Lee Stewart, but it was 41, not 4. It was Wilmer Cole that had the coverage. Ryan Johnson checking and talking with Lee Stewart. And they want to make sure on these vertical plays that everybody's got the right man. 1st and 10 now. Saints have got it at their 31-yard line. Still 4:25 remains in the quarter. Shotgun formation for Barner. Looks, rolls to his right, throws the out pass, and that one is caught, and then a big hit. Right about the 35-yard line. That was Dutton that came over. Ryan Johnson was there as well. Deontay Rush made the catch, and he paid a price.
Correction on the last foul. It was on number 4.
Well, we were right on that previous play. It was Lee Stewart. It did have the coverage. Referee changed it. Now Barner, and there was movement. And it might be a free play for Barner. Looking, checks off, throws back to the left. He's got a wide open grab inside the 35 of St. Francis. And they'll be knocking on the door at the 31.
Barner complete down the middle of the field to Braylon Bader.
Bader again got freed up on the free play. It was going to be a penalty against St. Francis. Encroaching. So here come the Saints. They try to get their first points of the night on the board other than the safety. Trailing at 29-2.
Defense, number 90. That penalty is declined. First down.
There's going to be a penalty, as we mentioned, on encroachment against Blake Blaker. That is declined. 1st and 10. And boy, they gave him a good spot at the USF 28-yard line. 1st and 10 now. Spread offense, two either side. Here's a quick bubble screen to the left. Good, great tackle down there as
Gardner completes to Glanders.
as Glanders on the receiving end, and he took a big hit. He'll get positive yardage just outside the Cougar 25-yard line. Same set with 2 wide either side now. And here's a quick hitting play as they try to run the ball, and Marcus Stepp is there to slow it up and polish it off as they get to the USF 23-yard line. Darius Davis. Jordan May credited also getting in there. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Now Siena Heights trying to play quick. High snap, read offense. They give it to Davis, and he plunges straight ahead on the quick hitting play to the USF 16. And they've got a 1st down coming up.
Gain of 7, good enough for a Saints.
And they're at the line of scrimmage, ready to go to work once again. USF coming. Here's the bubble screen, left side. Once again, positive yardage. Glanders rolls down inside the 15, down to about the 12-yard line.
Number 87, Adam Glanders. Good for 4. 2nd down and
Saints
6.
trying to hit the Cougars with quick runs and quick passes to the outside. Here they'll run Darius Davis again. Test the middle, and he's loose. No, that's a keeper play by Barner, I believe. Barner keeps it, calls his own number, and they'll have it 1st and goal.
1-yard line.
Yeah, I believe St. Francis is going to take a timeout right here. It'll be 1st and goal at the USF 1. And this change of pace has been very effective for the Saints now. Playing quickly, and they're down to the Cougar 1, trailing it 29-2. Let's keep things right here. Remind everybody, we'll be on the road in St. Louis next Saturday afternoon. That'll be a 1 o'clock Fort Wayne kickoff time. If you're making the trip out there to St. Louis, it'll be a 12 noon kickoff. But with the time change, 1 o'clock Fort Wayne time, our pregame at 12:45.
Check out the banners along the south side of the stadium end zone.
Cougars won't be home until a couple of weeks on Saturday, October the 28th. They'll take on the Lindenwood Belleville Lynx at 12 noon at Darcy Stadium.
Just email advancement at sienaheights.edu.
Cougars taking a timeout. They've got 2 remaining. Saints with all 3 of theirs in their pocket. Meanwhile, Matt Cohn, the second-year coach of the Saints, huddling up with his team, and now the offensive unit checks back in the ballgame now. Lander stays in wide to the left side.
1-yard line. 1st and goal.
Got Damon Wright in there wide to the right. Ryan Johnson's got the coverage on him. From the 1, you would expect Darius Davis perhaps to get the call. We will see. Coming up, high snap, and here's the read option, and into the end zone. It'll be a touchdown run of 1 yard, and that's a quick hitting play.
Number 25,
Darius Davis. Their first touchdown of the night comes at the 2:20 mark. Officially 1 yard on the touchdown run by Darius Davis. Now they try to make it a 20-point ball game. Extra point coming up. Low snap, kick is away. That's long enough, and it is good. So 29-9. Here was still 2:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter. You got to be careful. Cougars trying not to let the Saints get back in this one. 29-9 our score. Timeout down below. Cougar football on Redeemer Radio. 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Today's game is being broadcast live and locally on WLEN Radio, which is Siena Heights' exclusive radio partner for Saints football. Tune in to your radio dial at 103.9 FM and follow Chris Renwick for all the action. Our own Siena Heights Sports Network is also streaming today's game live online. Just visit the web at SHUSaints.com.
Cougars with the kick return unit coming out. You always got to be careful now by some trickery, maybe going on side to try to get the possession of the football back in a hurry. USF thinking the same way. They've got 10 men up within about 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. And indeed, the Saints are
Brock Quinlan.
Well, let's see. They're still kind of huddled up. We'll see when they spread out prior to the kick here. Wind kicking up as well. Again, it looks to be out of the northeast. Now they do spread out. And we'll see how things, and it might be an onside kick attempt coming up to the near side. We'll find out in a moment. Here we come with the approach. They do push it near side. That's a free ball, takes a bounce, and that's taken at the 27-yard line. Nate Carson was back there in kick return and able to cover up on the ball. So St. Francis does have it, 1st and 10.
Gathers it up and steps out of bounds.
That'll leave still 2:20 on the clock.
Cougars will play offense from the 28-yard line.
Interestingly, no time came off that clock, although Carson did field the ball and run out of bounds. Ryan Sonater stays in now as the running back. And the Cougars come up with a goal line offense right now. Motion right to left behind the line of scrimmage. Sonater looking for a hole. Fights his way up to about the 30. That'll be a gain of a couple. St. Francis right now just trying to play smash mouth and run some clock, pick up a couple of first downs. But don't forget, still an entire quarter remaining.
Short gain of 2 on the play.
Still a 3-score lead for St. Francis with under 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Rixey back in, Boswell slot right. Sonater the running back, and 2 wide to the left. Ferrer, let's see if he puts it up in the air with 2nd and long. Loads up, throws to the right tip ball. Now it's Rixey trying to reach for the first down stick. They mark him out of bounds at the 37. So that will bring up a 3rd down call, 3rd down and a long yard.
Number 6.
St. Francis on 3rd downs now tonight. Just 2 of 8.
Short of a first down.
And they've got to get out to their own. Well, just about just short of the 38-yard line on the snap. Again, they power up with that inverted wishbone. They'll run the ball, and looks like they may have it. Depends on the spot. 2nd effort, and that was Sonater. Did not go down. I thought he had the first down anyway initially, but stayed on his feet and takes it out to the 40. So that will make it official. Did not have to rely on a spot of the ball. Ryan Sonater running hard and picks up the valuable first down with under a minute remaining here in the quarter. 1st and 10, Cougars at the USF 40-yard line. Rixey stays in wide to the right. Gegner up on the wing to the right side. And here is Ferrer looking to read option, wants to throw the ball. The middle's got a wide open Boswell. Juggled the ball, but has it now into Saints territory. Carries it inside the 40 down to the 38. Well, you know that wet football was a little bit of a problem. It's Sean sure-handed and gathers it in. They'll move the chains, and the clock runs again. Now inside of 20 seconds, and St. Francis may get, we'll see if they get a playoff. No, they're going to take the game clock down to the 4th quarter. They will have a lead here after 3 quarters at McLaughlin Stadium over the Siena Heights University Saints, 29-9 after 3 quarters. And this is
start the 4th quarter. Cougars will scrimmage 1st and 10 from the St. 30
Cougars
line.
with a first down now. They've got it 1st and 10 inside the 40-yard line of Siena Heights. Never easy when you're ranked number 1. Everybody guns for you. And Ferrer out of the gun. Looks to hand the ball off. Here's a curl play right side. Sonater, big hole in the middle of the field, dragging tacklers down to the 20-yard line. Took a big hit high. Held onto the football. Is coming across.
Number 5 with a big burst up the middle.
That was a big hit, but Ryan Sonater, he's a tough customer as well.
At the 20 of the Saints.
Roberson in with that big hit, but it'll be at the 20-yard line, and the Cougars into the red zone now. St. Francis tonight 4 for 4 in the red zone, trying to cash in once again on 1st and 10 at the 20. Sonata starts right, cuts left, and slides through again to the 15, dragging tacklers down to about the 13, maybe the 12-yard line. They'll mark them down at the 13. Boy, Sonata running hard. We kind of wonder about Justin Green. We've not seen him in a while. And you hope it's not an injury dictating why Sonata's in getting so many of these snaps. Hopefully it's just a coach's decision. Also, St. Francis also, as we mentioned, with some blockers, some new blockers. Looks like Smith has checked in for blocking purposes. Meanwhile, 2 wide to the right on 2nd down and short. And Sonata again looks off tackle to the left and dragging tacklers inside the 10-yard line down to the 5 and all the way maybe down to the 4-yard line. And how about that run by the former Saint out of Bishop Dwenger High School? Chris Smith, as we mentioned, a wingback out of Indianapolis Pike, 230-pounder in there. Got downfield. Also to help out Sonata with that run. 1st and goal, USF at the Saints' 4-yard line. Trying to bounce back from giving up that touchdown. They still lead at 29-9 with just over 13 minutes remaining. Inverted wishbone once again for USF. In the middle of it, Ferrer hands the ball. Here's Green back in, and he's stacked up at the 5. So that answers our question about number 17. It comes back in there, and it'll be 2nd down and goal with a loss of 1 back to the 5-yard line. Cougars going to make a change also here late. Play clock at 20. And St. Francis will huddle up with 15 now on the play clock. Ferrer now brings them up the line of scrimmage with Connor Holcomb to snap the football. Down to 8, down to 7. 2 wide to the right side with 5, with 4. And Ferrer out of the gun, wants to throw, looks to the left, quick slant pattern. Well, there was contact there with looking at Chrisman, and they will now throw the flag. Chrisman running the quick slant at 6'6", and he was bumped off his stride trying to make that run. And we'll check that. Should be pass interference. Well, the officials are going to get everybody together once again, talk about it, and we'll find out in a moment.
Pass interference. Defense, number 7. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. 1st down.
Darius Price is called for the pass interference in the end zone. So it'll be ball will be put at the 2. It'll be 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Cougars stay in that inverted wishbone once again as Ferrer looks to hand it off. Sonata just takes the pile down, got maybe a yard to the 1, did not score.
Stonewalled by a whole bunch of Saints. No gain on the play.
So it'll be 2nd and goal from the 1. Never comes easy. Down deep here. They're going to move that ball just inside the 2-yard line, so still work to be done by the Cougars trying to get into the end zone here with the clock approaching 11.5 minutes, time remaining. They stay in that same formation, high snap, this time off the left, and Sonata leaped for the end zone, got across the plane of the goal. As he leaped, and it'll be a touchdown run officially of 2 yards, I believe, at the 11:33 mark. So Sonata will get into the end zone, and that is going to be his 2nd rushing touchdown of the year. Time of the score, 11:33. So the Cougars, who are just powering up to play power football now, and here is Gardner with a booming extra point attempt, and that is good. So add 1 to the USF total to make it 36-9. Here with a timeout in ADRIAN, Michigan. And we'll step out. This is Cougar football on the road on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Siena Heights University Saints 9.
The next few weeks, we got 25 days to
Cougars have 4 rushing touchdowns tonight, 3 by Justin Green. This most recent one by Brian Sonater. They do not have a touchdown pass so far for the second week in a row. Gardner ready to kick it away from the USF 35-yard line. Left to right as we look at it. He approaches, right-footed kick, high end over end. Tailing off to the near side. It's fielded inside the 5 at the 2. Run back, Carabino, middle of the field, trying to get to the outside, cross the 20-yard line, and brings it out across the 22-yard line. So the Saints back on offense now with 11:25 remaining in this ball game and trailing at 36-9.
Saints will scrimmage from the 22-yard
lead of 25 for the Cougars. They'll spot that ball right at the 22-yard line, and here comes the Saints offense onto the field. Looks like some new numbers in there in the secondary for USF. Schumacher stays out there at 1 safety. Meanwhile, here's Barner. Barner looking to throw the quick screen, and that one is incomplete. Had 2 players kind of in the same area, trying to find Deontay Rush in the under area. Little clear-out pattern run. They'll stop the clock with 11:22 remaining, and 2nd down and 10 coming up. Saints work from the right side hash mark now, 2 wide to the left. Blitz being shown defensive right side by Harnish. Here's a throw over the middle. He's got a man, and that one is nearly picked off. Schumacher came from nowhere, read the quarterback's eyes, left his feet, but on a wet night just could not hold on to that ball. Remember, Barner has not been intercepted this year.
Intended for Deontay Rush, busted up.
Cougars have nearly had 2 early in the ball game. They had one that was ruled to be out of bounds.
3rd down and 10.
Now it's 3rd down and 10. Saints trying to reach their own 32-yard line. On 3rd downs tonight, they are 3 of 9. Barner again looking at that Cougar defense. Safety 2 covers 2 safeties deep, steps up, wants to run, throws on the move. He's got a 1st down. Middle of the field. Catch is made across the 33-yard line.
Darius
Davis out of the backfield with a rare catch. And again, the Saints are up to the line of scrimmage. USF was not reacting. And now here's a bubble screen coming near side. And turning the corner, that'll be a gain across the 35-yard line. They'll pick up 1, they'll pick up 2. Quick hitting plays as St. Francis. Now again, Saints trying to play up-tempo that when they kind of resulted in their lone touchdown so far of the night, trying to come back with that same tempo. They'll spot it at the 35. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Now the official come in. And let's see what we have going. Now they back out, and play clock was down to 11. But the Saints are up the line of scrimmage and ready to go to work. 2nd and 9. Here's play action fake. Here's Barner over the middle. He's got a catch again. Schumacher coming across to make that tackle.
Barner steps up, slings one over the middle to number.
Was that Glanders?
Braylon Bader.
No, Braylon Bader once again with a nice fingertip catch over the middle. And suddenly they're in the St. Francis territory at the 44-yard line. Spencer Coward's going to rotate defensive left side now for St. Francis, kind of a rover back for USF. Here's Darius Davis. Boy, he has met and stood up, but still driving close to the 40-yard line of St. Francis.
Down by number 39, Eric Dutton.
Eric Dutton met him, but he went off laterally and carried Dutton with him to the USF 42-yard line.
2nd down and 8 from the 42 of the Cougars.
Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. Saints come up the line of scrimmage once again. Barner with spread offense, 2 wide either side of the field. Barner ready to take that snap, play action fake. Wants to throw again, looks over the middle, can't find anything. Flush to his right side, throws on the move. That was a deflected ball, but it falls incomplete.
Barner's pass
off the hands of intended receiver out there in the flats. Cougars flying to the loose football, had a shot at an interception, but now on the incomplete pass, it'll bring up 3rd down. Once again, trying to reach the USF 34-yard line on this snap of the football. And with just over 9 minutes remaining, clock stopped, 9:11 on the clock. They may feel they have got to go for it if they fail here on 4th down. Here's Barner again. And looking, steps up in the pocket. Looking, flush to his right side, being pursued by Harnish. Throws to the end zone, and that one is incomplete. Running the fly pattern down there was Deontay Rush. He had a step on the Cougar defense, but that one couldn't find the handle.
Pass deep into the end zone intended for number 4, Deontay Rush.
So to bring up 4th down and 8.
Third injured player.
And Rush, by the way, is limping down there beyond the end zone. They're going to bring him out. He's limping noticeably coming back to the bench. So there's a bit of an injury delay here at McLaughlin Stadium. Deontay Rush trying to make a bid for a touchdown catch at the 9:01 mark. Couldn't find it. And Matt Cohn has decided he will punt the ball. Brings in his punt team, barring a fake. On 4th down and 7 coming up. Wagner will drop back at his own 42-yard line. And we'll see if that's Boswell down there. Here's the kind of a rugby kick. Takes a high bounce. That's fielded by Nate Carson, it is. Carson steps out of one tackle, brings it across the 20 up to the 23-yard line. So the Cougars go back on offense now, trying to run the clock. The clock is their ally with 8:51 remaining, leading it by 25 points here on the road in ADRIAN, Michigan. 1st and 10, USF.
3-yard line. That's where the Cougars will.
Well, let's see if Kevin Daly is going to keep all the number 1s out there right now. Nick Ferrer does come back in the ball game. And we may be seeing Eli Wallace in there as a running back. We'll check that for you. As Ferrer waits out of the gun, hands the ball off. Here's a run off tackle the left side. And that'll be a gain across the 25. It is Eli Wallace in there.
The Cougars.
Let's see, gain down across the 25, I believe. A gain of about 4.
Nico Moroso for the Saints.
So 2nd down and 6 coming up, and more importantly, USF, the clock there, LI. Trying to take it now inside of 8.5 minutes, time remaining. Play clock still at 15, and Cougars just kind of standing around, just trying to get out of town with no injuries and with a win if they can, and headed to St. Louis next week. Chrisman in, wide to the left side. They come up and press coverage on him, but the Cougars will run the ball once again. And that'll be a gain only to about the 28, maybe the 29. Wallace stays in as the running back. Gets positive yardage of a couple more yards to bring up 3rd down and 5. Cougars would love to pick up at least 1 or 2 more first downs. They would need to reach the 33 on this snap. Ferrer now leads his team up to the line of scrimmage. And he'll have 2 wide to the left, 2 wide to the right. And here's Ferrer dropping the throw. Looking, throws over the middle. Has got a wide pass that's incomplete. Looking down the middle to Blackwell. He had a step. But Ferrer sensed the rush was coming, had to get rid of it a little bit too early.
For number 10.
So bring up 4th down, and USF will punt the ball with 7:21 remaining.
Complete. That'll force a Cougar punt. Kreider will set up his
Nepper's been a busy guy here tonight. He's had 1 blocked for a safety across the end line. His official other punt from the first half was good for 40 yards. And let's see if they're coming again. Low snap. Nepper steps into it. High short kick coming near side. That'll come down. Kicks in bounds and takes a bit of a Cougar roll inside the 40 down to about the 30. Well, let's see. They're going to mark it out of bounds right at the 40-yard line where it hit. So very good field position now for the Saints with 7:13 remaining in this ball game.
Out of bounds.
And down 25, you know the Saints have got to put it up in the air. Saints do not play next week. They'll take a week off and then go down to Marion and Indianapolis to play the Knights. Now they've got 3 wide to the right, the wide side of the field for Barner. Looks and play action fake and throws late there. The catch is made at the 40. That'll be a gain of only 1. And I believe they got a new number in there at quarterback now.
Number 8, Ryan Brennan, new quarterback.
It's Ryan Brennan.
To number 22, Davon Washington. So
a lot of new numbers in there. Brennan is a freshman out of Howell, Michigan. He's 6'2", 192.
2nd and 8.
So Matt Cohn giving some of his backups a chance here in the late going with just under 7 minutes time remaining. Brennan looking read option, hands it, no, he keeps it himself, wants to throw on the move, and he's got a catch at in the Cougar territory. That's Carabino, I believe, inside the 45 to the 44.
14, Justin Carabino.
Saw Carabino a lot tonight on kick returns.
Line of the Cougars and good for a Saints. First down!
So the Saints ready to go to work once again, trying to salvage one more score if they can against this number 1 ranked University of St. Francis defense. Brennan again taking a look at USF defensively. Got a running back offset to the left side. Left-handed quarterback now flushed to his left and wrapped up, and it was nearly intercepted in and out of the hands. And let's see, it was that.
With some quick hands for the Saints, pops away a potential interception.
Check that number for St. Francis. Boy, that was so close to the first interception of the year.
At the 43-yard
and that was
the Cougars.
You know what? We don't have it on the roster that we were given. Clock stops with exactly 6 minutes remaining. That was Jalen Moss that wasn't able to hold that possible interception. Here's a quarterback draw coming to the left. And a tackle made at the 40-yard line. That was Pearson Harnish still in there.
Number 8, Ryan Brennan keeps it.
So Brennan on the quarterback keeper. Keeps the clock moving inside of 5:43 to play. 3rd down call coming up, 3rd and 6.
3rd down and 7, balls at the 40.
2 wide to the right side now for the Saints. Gerald King has checked in as one of the wide outs. Empty backfield now, 3 wide to the right, 2 wide to the left. Brennan, the freshman quarterback. Ready to take the snap at about his own at the Cougar 45. Needs 6. Drops to throw, looks far side, steps up, wants to run, now throws it as far as he can. Ball sailing, that is intercepted, and the Cougars will have it inside their own 5-yard line. That one hung up, and USF has got the interception.
Heaves one deep down the Cougar sideline, intercepted. Number 22.
That was Stan Jackson. Stan Jackson on the interception. That is the first of the year.
Will take over 1st and 10
against the Saints.
At the 4-yard line.
That comes with 5:07 remaining. And the Cougars will take over at their own 4-yard line. Now let's see if perhaps Clay Cenarius has come in to work for the quarterbacks. He has for Kevin Downley. So Clay Cenarius in there now. He'll take this snap, basically yard deep in the end zone, hands it off. A run up the middle, and there's some running room across the 10 out to about the 11-yard line. And again, we'll have to check some of the numbers. That might be Wallace still in there. And it is Eli Wallace. Freshman at 5'9", 210 pounds, out of Lakeland.
Brought down by number 20, Jeremiah.
That's a gain of 6, 2nd down and 4. And we may see a lot of Eli Wallace here in the dying moments in this ball game. 36-9 is where we are. 2 wide to the right for USF. Cenarius out of the gun now. Wing back off to the right side as well. They'll give it to Wallace. Wallace has got a blocker, now cuts it up, spins across the 12-yard line. He'll gain another yard, maybe a yard and a half.
Puts his foot in the ground, but number 12.
We're going to spot that ball up around the, let's call it the 13-yard line.
Noise, Saints fans.
Cougars need about a yard, maybe a yard and a half to keep possession of the football. Cenarius brings them up to the line of scrimmage once again. Again, they're offset to the left side with a wing back out there. And here is Wallace. He tries to break it. Off tackle to the left, and he's got the first down. Brings it out close to the 19-yard line. They'll give him another yard to the 20. And they'll run the clock with 3.5 minutes remaining in this ball game. Exactly what the Cougars wanted. Well, they will spot that ball back at the 19, but it will be 1st and 10 USF. Now just need one more if they can get it. Saints have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Cougars with 2, but at this point, 36-9 our score. Neither team interested in expending a timeout. Wallace, now they flip-flop him to the left of Cenarius. 2 wing backs, 2 blockers out to the left. Runs up the middle, runs into a wall, trying to break to his left out to about the 25. Are they going to say the knee hit back around the 23, perhaps?
Number 36, yet again, Eli Wallace up the middle. He runs into number 97, Andrew Loria.
We will see what kind of a gain that is.
Gain of 3 on the play, 2nd and 7.
Where they finally moved the down marker and were able to tell it was a gain of about 3 yards. Clock moving inside of 2.5 minutes time remaining. Play clock at 8. Cougars come up to the line of scrimmage. Hundley in wide to the right side. You wouldn't expect Cenarius to throw, and he doesn't. Here is Wallace, angles to his left. Is hit at the 25. Brings tacklers, carries them with him out to the 27.
Number 36, Eli Wallace, brought down by number 21.
Well, he's getting his share of the load here in the dying moments, Eli Wallace.
Ball's at the 27-yard line, and a 3rd down and 3.
So 3rd down and 3, long 3 coming up. Clock is inside of 2 minutes time remaining. Well, the Cougars will be hoping for some dry weather next Saturday afternoon out in St. Louis. And this will mark the 2nd game in a row Nick Ferrer has come up empty with throwing for a touchdown. But a win is a win. Now with 93 seconds remaining, Wallace again upended. Got to about the 27. Clock still runs with 1:21 to play. It'll bring up 4th down and still 3. The punt team will come out.
4th down and
Last
1.
chance for Austin Kreider out of Homestead tonight. They've used him pretty much all season long as strictly a punt returner.
Setting up shop.
Kreider came in with 6 punt returns, a long of 21 this year. But he led him a year ago with 39 catches. He's not caught a pass, period, all season long. Nepper waits back at the 15 for the snap, and now USF play clock may have run out. No, the Cougars did take a timeout. So with 46 seconds remaining, it'll be 4th down coming up, 4th down and 1. USF will punt the ball when we return to ADRIAN, Michigan, leading it 36-9. And this is Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana. Do we have many or any spots in the postgame? Oh, really? Okay. Can you quantify or? Okay. Okay, we'll take a minute definitely at the end of the game. Cougars will punt the ball now. Nepper waits back at his own 16-yard line for the snap. And here it comes. Rush is coming. Kick is away. High, nice sailing kick. Kreider is going to have to call a fair catch. Knowing he was wanted to have a chance against the team from his hometown. It will be decent field position at the 37-yard line for Siena Heights now, and they will be trying to go some 63 yards in just 40 seconds to get a consolation score if they can against the University of St. Francis.
So just a big round of applause for all.
A lot of new numbers in there for both teams.
2017 Saints football.
We'll see the freshman left-handed quarterback Ryan Brennan come back in to run this offense for the Saints here in the late going. He does have 2 wide to the right. Brennan looking, the read option, keeps it himself, curls to his right, crosses the 40, brings it out to the 43, but the clock is running, and we're down to just 30 seconds to play. It's a good run by the young freshman quarterback, and he'll pick up about 6.
7, 2nd and 3.
Ball at the 43-yard line. Taking a lot of time. Let's see if they do get another play or 2 off. We're down to 13 seconds remaining. Brennan out of the gun, taking a look with 8, with 7. And a low snap, does keep it himself, runs to the 49-yard line, and that is going to do it.
Brennan keeps this one.
Clock does stop. No, it doesn't. They run it out, and it will be a hard-fought win on the road for the University of St. Francis as they take out the Siena Heights Saints by a final score of 36-9. We'll be back with a Cougar postgame show. We'll recap the scoring and tell you much more about the schedule coming up. 36-9, St. Francis trying to stay #1 in the nation and trying to make a trip back to Daytona Beach if they can, a long way down the road from that. This is Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.